Man, let me tell you about working in a freaking department store like that. It's like you lose time because you can't see outside. So like you go in when it's still light out, you leave when it's dark, and you're like, the fuck?
Yeah, it happens all the time. I go in when it's dark, come out, and it's like overcast. I'm like, is it? What time is it?
Oh boy. All right, so let's fix it. Okay. Man, that would be fun tonight. Everybody playing their current characters.
No.
I'm gonna play Dea.
I just set my macros, you fucker. Let me play my own character.
You're dead.
I'm just dead. And he's gonna do Cicada. Will do Balthar. Ronald gets Enro, and Sniper gets Nero.
Nope. Good thing you're not running this game. I don't know who requested this song, but I love you. Once you smothered, once you covered like my Waffle House hash browns.
Sprockets.
Oh man, I haven't heard that one in a while.
I know, right? Daylight savings time. What are we gonna do, the roulette to let them play other characters? I'm not sure yet.
Hopefully never.
No, I think it'll actually be really good for you guys to make something like that happen.
No.
Wild magic, wild magic, wild magic.
No, it's like, I think it honestly would be good because not only will you play to the strengths of the character because it's not yours, but you'll be playing like an asshole to literally show the person's character that you're playing that they're an asshole when they do these things. Like, I can already see Will playing a Sunn. He'd be like, hurdy her, I stand in the corner, drink a thing, and talk a thing.
I'm sorry, I like having HP.
But you
like
never
having
fucking
more-
do.
I really like...
Because I get slapped for 70 damage at the start of the fight, and I'm like, oh shit! I have 20 HP, oh boy!
I really love that your interpretation of Sunn is the Swedish chef.
Derg.
I
Well-
thought you might like that.
You know, well, one of us could always go ahead and just play Thelsa and one-shot dragons.
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck. I'm
Or we'll play
fucking... I'm Thelsa-proofing my dragons.
Good
From
luck with
this
that.
point forward.
They
What,
now
are you
roll
just gonna
plus
double
20.
their fort saves?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Shouldn't have given you ideas.
They actually have immune to bullshit now, which is a feature that I put in.
Oh man, I want that feat.
Undead dragons don't feel fear, and neither do constructs.
God, that would
Arnold
like
over here.
fix half of this game.
Yeah, Jen has it right. Whoever takes my part has to have my laugh for the session.
I can't do that, man.
No, you just you get an audio clip, literally an audio clip of SpongeBob laughing. Yeah,
That or
Fairly
just
accurate.
you know, porpoise rape, either or.
Jesus Christ, it's horrifying. Get me in on that immune to BS? Yeah, right, Stu. I'm feeling that.
Oh yeah, could you imagine that as a feat? All right, community wants to quirk tonight. Community to BS.
Just give me wild magic.
All right, time to turn this off. As much as I love this song, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. All right. Perfect.
Your on-screen chat is frozen, by the way, though.
I know, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't actually know how to immediately fix it. I'm just gonna get a new source for it. I'm gonna get a new source code.
Source code. That was a good movie. So I
Was
heard.
it?
I don't watch movies. I've never seen it.
Damn it, Stu. Yes, I have. I have tried turning it on and off again.
And it'll fix every issue, man.
Well,
No.
you might want to reverse that, turn it off, and then back on.
No, I hit on and then I hit off. Okay, that's how it works. All right, I beat
It's
it.
the 1, then the 0.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not working because it's still off.
Unfortunately, that's not the case.
I've been meaning to watch the IT crowd.
I've also been meaning to watch that, especially since I got a job in IT.
It seems like it'd just be so funny. I've never had the chance to like sit down and watch all of it. I'm trying to watch Adventure Time.
I've had plenty of chances, haven't done it.
Yeah, other shows.
Yeah.
No, I'm rather happy with my new, Letterkenny. I need to go ahead and see more of that.
I'm just trying to get through.
What's up there, Big
240
Shoots?
episodes of Adventure Time.
Fucking Letterkenny's hilarious.
Oh shit! It's Jim's
Never
friend.
seen it.
How did I not pick that name out of the crowd?
I don't know. He's
He was asking for a rep.
he's talking about putting in 1,000 doors.
Well, hell, we'll be banging all night long. Yeah.
All right. All right, I've got to silence them briefly so I can think. I'm just like, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to think. It's source. You're right, Gankvet. It's alert box for chat, right? No, that's not it. Fuck! I haven't done this in so long. There it is. Copy. Chat source, properties. Thank God, there it is. Okay, we got it. We got it now, boys. The 200 IQ, right? The plays. The plays! Shackled City, episode 130. Update information. All right. And we can put you there. Everybody's rolling. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. All right. So, lads.
Da.
Did Christy explain what she was doing?
No.
Not a bit.
Okay. Christy was putting in potions for everyone. Everybody gets a cure mod. Add to your personal effects. Yes.
Having my character sheet open would be good.
It's generally a good idea.
All
Forgot that I lost power and it actually. I usually just keep it open at this point.
Why?
It's just,
We only play
stays-
once a week.
It
if
just
that.
stays. I just forget to close it, and then by the time Wednesday rolls around, I'm like, oh hey, it's still open. Cool.
You are the worst.
I'm fucking really lazy, man.
Your
All right,
computer hates
so
you.
everyone got a cure mod.
Everybody gets cure mod. This is correct.
Hasn't she done that for the past like 3 sessions? Because I do have 3 cure mods, and I'm not entirely certain where they came from.
Yeah, she
Yes.
has.
Okay.
She's been giving us cure mods, and then one person cure serious per session.
Gotcha.
Critical, not serious.
Yeah, critical. My bad.
Pure mods 2d8 plus 5.
3.
4?
Uh,
3?
2d8 plus 3, 3d8 plus 5 for serious, 4d8 plus 7 for critical.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm thinking some of us might start going ahead and chug these.
I thought my drink macro was big dick drinks. Jesus Christ.
I'm wondering what you have that name down for.
Oh boy. Sometimes I think 130 sessions is far too many with these people.
I
Smoking
totally
big
forgot.
dunks.
I totally forgot I had. You know how we took a basically like a sketch down of what the celestial written or inscribed in the walls was?
Yes.
I wrote that down as celestial rubbing in my inventory, which is, I mean, that's what it's called, but it seems like it's just a voucher for massage envy type thing.
I'm okay with this. TTRPG at Paizo hashtag community. Alright guys, what happened last time? Can we recall?
We one-shot a dragon.
Alright, next song. What else? It's more than that.
Finally made our way through the trial of Resolve.
And let's be clear about something. one of you one-shot a dragon. Yet again.
It was Sunn.
Yeah. I threw a potion at it real good.
No, he was herp, flying here, drinking potion.
Look, take 3/4 of your HP in one turn and then see how happy you are about existing.
Hey. He might be an alcoholic, but at least he's a lucky alcoholic.
Sunn's not even an alcoholic. He's the one character I've made that isn't an alcoholic.
I'm going to personally go out of my way forward to no longer take Red's hit points. But I'm going to take every other feature of his character and I'm going to abuse the shit out of it. Just because his hit points are so fucking important to him.
Yeah, because I like living.
You lived
Damn!
the first 3
I'm sorry I like living. It's a key part to my survival of a character.
Whoa! Living and survival, same thing?
It's
no.
the same, right?
But from now on, every attack hits his ability scores instead of his health point.
I take 20 points of strength damage in one turn.
That's right.
Yeah, and he just suddenly stops breathing, collapses into a pile of bones.
So
I
if
mean,
you go down to 0 strength, you just turn into bishop at that point?
No, you die. Yeah, you fall
You're
over.
sitting at your desk and your lung just deflates.
Yeah, you just die. You can't support your bones anymore. You just turn to a puddle of goo.
You release the end of a balloon and it just
Jesus.
right out your mouth.
Yeah, your constitution goes to 0, you get every disease known to man all at once.
I just looked at my character sheet and I have about as much HP as Will does. Very good. And,
How
How
much
do you know
HP
how
do
much
you have,
HP I
Will?
have?
like I have like 36 HP, so I'm assuming that's near your max.
Oh, okay. No, not. I understand what you're saying now. Also, I have significantly less HP than you currently. You're about half my max. Give me that bitch.
So, Trial of Resolve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We ended up getting transported to this new area where we found these bodies that had been gored, dismembered, bludgeoned, melted.
Yes.
And all of these bodies were leading to this suspicious-looking cave in one of these spires. So, of course, we decided to go ahead and follow the corpses. I mean, after all, this is the Flurry of Bros. Moving onward, we went through this darkened tunnel that was lined with scrapes and scratches and deep gouges, almost at head height, and we come across this room that is absolutely decored in gold, in luxurious items,
Yeah.
and most importantly, a cage.
Yes.
A cage that had a really, really freaked out prophet. Next man down the line.
Hey, Annie, did you delete your Twitter?
No.
Okay, because anytime I search any facet of your name, you're not on there.
He's just goes.
That's
man.
interesting. I'll
Just
go
look for
check
Tony
Twitter.
I did. I looked for Tony Soupy. I've looked for Anthony and his last name. I've looked for InYouEndo, InYouEndo, and it keeps bringing up In Your Bible.
I just
I renamed
realized.
myself.
He blocked
Just-
you, is what he said.
I will admit, any is a bit of a religious experience, but
I just got the entire point behind the name Tony Soupy, and I love it.
You just got that?
It never occurred to me to be
Also,
like,
his tag is Anthony Soupy, in case you were wondering.
yeah,
Fuck.
that
All right, I'll try that.
At Anthony Soupy.
Well, I retweeted, commented, and liked the post you made 6 hours ago.
Yeah, he did.
So,
He still exists.
I think my Twitter still exists.
Well,
but I'm not
actually,
certain.
you didn't retweet it because it's not on your list. It might be in your likes.
I just retweeted.
Okay. You definitely liked it.
But he couldn't retweet it. He just wasn't sure.
No, okay, there it is.
I wouldn't delete it because the only thing I use it for is to retweet Bub's tweets, and that's literally it. I don't go on it unless I'm retweeting Bub's tweets.
I love that your profile picture is just cut off. It's like half of a joke.
That's my life. Oh, just the punchline.
yeah,
So-
that's why he's still single, ladies. Half measures.
Hey,
So, Jacob was right. He said, "Let's
and men.
let's go ahead and kick this down the line." You found a cage. You found a cave that was filled with many items. There were many bones as well, and you also found a door. What else is in this room? What did you guys discover?
There was also a prisoner in the cave as well.
Okay. Okay. What? Tell me about him. Tell me a bit about him, Ulhime.
I don't remember the name of the person. I don't know if he even gave it to us. But he essentially was saying that this was the lair of Voltaire.
Yes. Was it Voltaire?
Yeah, Voltaire, the leader of Pestilence, or yeah, the Black Dragon, right? Yeah, Voltaire, leader of Pestilence. That was the name he gave us.
It is. It's Vorkair. That's right.
Vorkair.
Yep.
And that was his. That was his prisoner, who was also, in a sense, like his scribe. Where he would, I guess, help him with divinations and other, I guess, divine-based questions and stuff like that he needed asked. But ultimately, he was in prison there and was unable to leave. While we were trying to inspect the door, he was warning us that Voltaire was on his way back. And after a few minutes of trying to get this mysterious black door to open, Voltaire did show up. He didn't. He took the form of a deep gnome. I forgot the proper name of them. It was like Shliva.
Zverfneblin.
Yeah. Zverf Nephilim.
Close.
My God. He seemed rather paranoid overall, for the very fact that we were in his lair and assumed that we had taken stuff from it. Even trying to, not in a sense talk away out of it, but reason with him that nothing was taken. He decided that he really didn't believe us, and he didn't really have any reason to. The fact that we were there essentially just made us a meal for him, and he decided to show us his true visage and reveal that he was in fact a black dragon, one of the two sons of Ambarda.
Three sons. One of the three sons of Ambarda. Yes.
And he proceeded to attack us. He laid in some pretty good damage with an acid breath and a series of claw attacks, as well as wings. At which point, one of his wings was severed by Jakob, if I remember correctly, making it so that he couldn't fly away. And then he was then ultimately defeated by Thelsa, who showed him a visage so frightful that it ended up killing him. The visage that she showed him was that of Saren Ray, essentially smiting him into nothingness, and he was no more.
Thelsa basically pulled a Willy Wonka and killed him with his own imagination.
Pure imagination.
Yeah, that's fairly accurate. Which was exhausting as a dungeon master. I didn't think that was going to happen, especially after you tried it several times for it to fail. I'm befuddled, to be honest.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Well, I was just hoping, because
Hey,
that thing was going to kill my ass.
somebody was bound to fail eventually, apart from me.
Overall, we did get lucky to defeat something that was that strong so easily, and we ended up rounding out our session with getting ready to inspect the treasure and hopefully release the man inside the cage.
Fair. So what are you guys gonna do with this man?
We are not sure. We have not got to that part yet.
You're right. You tried to free him, and he basically opted out. He didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, then we killed his master, so he was kind of freaking out, and that's where we left off.
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
But yeah, seeing as we just finished killing the dragon, I'll stand up and look to Thelsa and Sunn. If you guys can we start gathering all the stuff here? We might be able to take some of it with us. I'm gonna go help our friend over here. I will then hop over the dragon and go to the cage, and using my Might of the Gods ability, tear the cage open.
Okay. I believe that you guys had already done that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
sorry.
I'm pretty sure you actually used that ability to tear the cage open.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm just still
You
picturing.
said
this
you wanted to
little
recap. This is a
I'm just
play-by-play.
picturing this like 3-foot goblin hulking out and just.
Yeah. So that brings us up to snuff. You guys are good to go. Bear in mind that the tweet is now out. Everybody can grab that, retweet it if you'd like. I'll make sure to copy here. And I want to see some population in this chat tonight. I want to see some boisterousness. Let's make it all thick. It's been a while, man. It's been a while since we've been able to play. I'm stoked again to finally get to, since I was last sick. And I'm ready to do this. So guys, make sure you tweet it. Make sure you tell everyone in Discord. Tell all your friends on Facebook and all that jazz.
I was gonna ask, does this man look famished at all? Like he hasn't eaten?
He looks fed.
So other than being locked in a cage, he
was,
doesn't.
you know, he was the dragon's eye into the real world outside of Oxypodus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feed your eye.
So he doesn't, other than being stuck in a cage, he doesn't look too worn.
I mean, he doesn't necessarily seem like he's worn per se, but I don't know, man. Like taking a look over him, he seems like he hasn't seen, obviously he hasn't taken a bath in a long time, if ever. Any kind of liquid that would have been brought to him would be brought in like draught form. Any kind of food would have been pushed through the bars, but it's not like he's had a proper meal in a long time.
Okay. So if that's the case, I'll use one of my 3rd level spells, and I'll create food and water.
Okay.
Kind of looking around, I'll look to the group. Guys, since we're gonna be here for a while, I think we should take some time to take a bit of a break. We've been through kind of a lot in a very short span of time, and I think it's been a while since any of us have had any food. So it's on me tonight, guys. And he'll start like making these like weird like arcane mutterings. The language itself is very heavy since he speaks Dwarvish natively. But as he finishes, you'll see essentially like a white light and like in a square formation form up, and then like a table pops up, and then it's just like this very like hearty feast of meats, cheeses, breads.
What spell is this?
Create food and water.
Okay, that doesn't actually like create a dining table.
Okay, simple fare of your choice, highly nourishing, rather bland. Food is fresh for 24 hours.
You create fresh foods, so you're creating like some meats. You're probably creating some very generic fruits, things like that. But it's not like
I'm thinking of Hero's Feast. My bad.
Yeah, you're not really creating like a feasting table, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Not like you'd presently have that much time. If you guys recalled, you were under some kind of time constraint. Unfortunately, it's not like you're going to have an opportunity to wine and dine yourselves.
I mean, to look through these weapons, though, I'm assuming it's going to take more than 10 minutes to do, though.
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, I mean, at least on Jacob's part, don't recall any time limit for this second one. I mean, the only time constraint is Cauldron possibly being besieged by demons, and well,
However, we were in here for like a week and only 30 minutes passed.
yeah, and well, let's be honest, we just killed a dragon. I think we deserve a break.
Ah, yes, the sense of urgency has been delayed by their ego. Feels good, man. Feels good.
No,
I mean, also our characters haven't even. We've been in
my sense
this
of
realm
urgency
for a couple
has
of
been
days.
delayed
So.
by the massive freaking damage I've had to suffer through.
Yeah.
You can eat. I'm not saying that you shouldn't eat. I'm saying that you don't have time to have campfire tales. That kind of thing.
Oh no, I mean, I don't think we're talking about taking an 8-hour nap or anything like that.
Yeah. No.
I mean, that'd be nice too.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
But the
But yeah,
last I
I'll-
recalled from the previous session, which you guys didn't touch upon at all, was the door.
We didn't have time to. He came back. That's what we're
We touched it
trying
a
to figure
lot.
out.
You guys,
But then
no,
the
you
dragon
guys.
came.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Is you guys did touch the door quite a bit.
We felt it up for a bit, but then
I
the dragon
tried-
was like, "Why are you
I
filling up
didn't-
my door?"
I didn't get as far as I wanted to with it because I actually wanted to try to see how much life force this could take to see if that's what it wanted. So after I do this, I do want to get back on that, but first I want to kind of take care of this small portion to make sure he's at least taken care of so we can talk to the guy.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob's definitely going to probably turn on detect magic, start ferrying stuff over, take a seat. I mean, I figure for the next 15, 20 minutes, they're going to go ahead and eat a little bit, talk with this seer, who apparently didn't see us whipping his boss's ass.
Not really like a boss. He was a prisoner.
Oh, hold on.
I think there's some strange miscommunication. I think you're under these odd pretenses of him actually doing what he's doing because he wanted to do them.
Hey, I don't kink shame. For all I know, he's in that cage because he wanted to be.
Yeah. He was a prisoner of a dragon because he wanted to be.
Hey,
I know that
don't
life.
judge.
Sometimes
Jesus
you
Christ.
just
Alright, I'm
want an evil,
Go back.
undying beast to tell you what to do all the time.
You know, he can be
Yeah.
a fan of bad dragon all he wants. Pride, man.
Was anyone talking to him already, or is it a cool down?
Sniper's
No.
just being ridiculous.
Okay. So yeah. After kind of making the food and kind of starting to distribute out for everyone, including him, I'll just start asking them, what was it that you were exactly looking for your old master?
So you're basically speaking to this man, this
Mm-hmm.
venerable prophet, and say that again one more time.
What was he helping his master look for?
So, okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
He kind of glances to each of you after you've shaken him from his cage, this wrought steel and iron cage, and he looks to you and he's like, the Volcaire needed a glimpse to the outside. Yeah, he used me. He would bring things from the people that he'd slain, and he was using my visions to see outside of this realm.
But why? What was he trying to see? What was he asking you to look for?
My guess is a way out. And nothing up to this point had led him to believe that he could find it.
So that's the only reason that he kept you here? Was there a particular object, anything that he might have been specific about? Any person by name that he might have mentioned? Anything of the sort?
I was I wish I could provide more assistance to you in this case. The first name that I've heard of him muttering is around you now, and he had said Embarter. That's the first that I've heard. I did not know that he had brothers, and I did not know that his father still resided, nor that each of you were privy to him.
Don't look at me.
I don't think everyone here has a history with the one that he spoke of, but either way, you are free now, and if you really, well, you know what? Let me do a sense. Can I do a sense motive? I want to see if he's actually being forthright about what he's been saying.
Sure,
Cool?
give me sense motive.
While he's talking, I'd be kicking around the piles of junk that are laying around here to see if I can find anything of interest.
Natural 20 with
Wow, very good. No,
25?
you feel like he's telling the truth. His situation's kind of particular, right? Like, you, on an outward glance, you see this man, and you see him as a slave to a dragon. You have no idea how long that he's been a slave, but he's been a slave to a dragon, and you've just freed him. You're expecting him to be like, thank you. You've saved me. But that's not the course. The course is, you saved him from a black dragon that was caught in the 507th layer of hell. But you guys are also in hell, and you beat a black dragon that he's known as his master. That makes you absolutely terrifying to him. He doesn't really know what to think of you.
So it's not that he's necessarily grateful, but it's like, well, it's a situation of a bigger fish eating an even bigger fish kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I mean,
And
even
I
kind
am
of
a
picking
bit fiendish looking at the moment.
True.
At the
Even
moment, yeah, no, it's pretty much all the time that you're standing.
picking up off the cues, kind of like that. I'll also follow suit. You should have nothing to worry about, friend. If possible, you can come with us. We might need a guide if you have any talents that we might be able to utilize outside of this place. Though it might take us some time to figure out our way. Well, I'm assuming like any others that have fallen victim to this place, we're here to complete the trials. If the trial of the Smoking Eye, have you heard about that?
I believe that I was aware of the trials at one point or another, but I am afraid that I've since lost that knowledge. I was once like yourselves. I came here with a party, a group of adventurers, my friends, and they were bested by the beast, by Volker.
And Jacob's going to pipe up. Just how long have you been down here to forget something like that?
Years. I'm afraid that it's been too long. My memory has since been slipping.
It's okay, friend. It's okay. What can you tell us about the door over here?
I don't know. I've never even seen the dragon enter. He seems to look at it from time to time in disgust, or at least he had before you were able to defeat him.
In disgust, and can you be more clear? Is there anything you might have made mention of about it?
Try as he might, when he dug around the wall of it would rapidly regenerate as he tried to get around the door, but no, nothing has been able to pass it since. I believe that some great treasure is beyond.
That was just my thinking, Ulhime.
Well, I think for right now, I think we pretty much got as far as we can with you, but you're more than welcome to stick around with us if you want to. Like I said, we're trying to get these trials completed, and if we can do so, well.
Can you send me home?
I'm afraid I can't, my friend. Wait. And then you see him kind of like scurry off and kind of jump on top of the dragon's body again. Master Klaus, a question.
Go ahead.
Do you still have one of those stones? We might be able to use it to let this one go. We would still have 2 more, correct?
One more, but yes, I can certainly see why this would be a worthy cause of using it. I'll reach in my bag and go ahead and toss him one of the stones of sending.
I'll catch it. Thank you. And he'll jump back down. We can use one of these stones to send you back home.
Where will you send me? Where will you, does this empty out into my hometown?
If your hometown's Cauldron.
Cauldron is barely a thoroughfare of an idea. It's been wrought.
Oh, you've been here a lot longer than we thought.
Cauldron's a whole city now, friend.
Cauldron stands.
Well,
Yes.
they haven't managed to ruin it yet.
Sunn's gonna walk over to him and he's gonna flip through his journal and show him the drawing of the city.
Sure. Well, it's wondrous. It's beautiful. Why? If what you say is true, then is it a vast populace? Are there many people there? Would they?
He puts his
would they
hand
take
up real
me
quick.
in?
But before we go any further than that, friend, Cauldron still has dangers about it.
There's a giant sea creature in the lake. That was terrible.
There's been talk that some of the stuff from down here has been making its way to there. On top of that,
I don't know if that's true. If there was a way out, then Volker would have found his way out. Things
I'm
make
just
their
telling you
way
what
in,
we
but
saw.
they stay.
I'm only telling you what we saw. And there's also rumors of the undead, though I have yet to see them myself.
Oh, and the ale at the Tip Tankard, super overpriced. And Jacob's just gonna nod like, yeah, I contributed, yeah.
Look, we can get you out of here, but will you be capable on your own once you're out? Will you be okay?
I have no coin. I have no friends or family in Cauldron. I was from the cities north of there, north of the Great Spire. Is there a way that you could send me there?
North of the Great Spire, you said?
Yes.
Bubs?
Yes.
Ulhime, I think this is one of those moments where we just need to go ahead and speak with the man himself. Go ahead and get Korofon on the horn.
He'll activate the rock. Korofon, there's someone we need you to teleport home. We need you here as soon as possible. And he'll activate the rock. It has to get crushed though, right? Or is
once,
it just
once you get the message through, it does like it crumbles like
okay, like it's ash,
like from a charcoal based state to like an ash just before your hands. And sure enough, the moment that you manage to deliver this message, it does seem to crumble in your hand and create like a carbon dated state and drop down to the ground. And within moments, you'll see that tear, this like ethereal rip in your surroundings, and Korofon will step through. Or at least he starts to step through. You see his one foot make it through, and then he stops. He leans in.
I know you don't have much time, but can you take this man north of the Great Spire?
Yeah, Jacob's just gonna lift up his cup of wine and thumb back to the dragon. We did this!
I'm afraid that will bring its own reaction. Who is this man? What has he done?
He kind of Ulhime looks over to the man. I'm sorry, friend. I actually didn't get your name.
I don't know. Stars and Stone, I forgot my own name. I don't know.
And how about we give you one?
Until I can figure out my own name. A name is a gift, and it's not something that you can just claim.
Well, we've got to call you something.
Very well, what will you call me?
Well, you're a seer. We could call you Seer.
Creative.
A title if fitting. I'll accept this. I will be your seer. Your names, heroes.
Ulhime. Ulhime Shieldbearer.
Jakob Rivers.
Sunn. I'm gonna.
Thelsa.
Yes, those are the truly dangerous sword.
I'm just gonna smile and turn back around and keep kicking through the loot to try and find something useful.
There's gold on the floor and shit, right?
And the only one here older than myself, your name, kind sir.
I go by Klaus. This body isn't exactly mine. I'm actually probably the youngest one here.
Well, some form of spell you must be under, and in time I hope that maybe I can help you the same way that you've helped me. Where should I be seeking someone out? Is there someone that can help me in this time of need?
Well, if you have to go to Cauldron, there is the tip tanker or Griffin should be able to help you, or the cathedral itself, Genya. But if you're near the Red Gorge area in the forest, there's a bugbear there by the name of Balthar. He's the leader of a group out there, a group of rangers.
Very well, very well. I suppose I will go with this man, Korofon, you have said, wherever he will lead me, and I will stay there.
No problem. Hold on. And then you see him, Ulhime gets like a leather strip and kind of just tears it. And then he gets like a small rope and then just like starts getting a handful of gold from the floor.
Okay.
Because there's gold and stuff on the floor, right? Or
There's
just,
some,
like
yes.
money.
There's
yeah,
some.
so he'll just start shoveling into the little pouch and then tie it up and then just hand it to him and goes, here you go. Some funds for you on the way.
Yes, this is not my lot. This is yours. You've bested the beast. It's yours.
We're
I
not
wouldn't feel right.
Friend, we're not keeping all this, and we're not going to be able to take all of it with us.
We're not?
No.
Oh, yeah, of course, heroes, right. No, we're not.
And you said it yourself, you needed gold. With this, you'll be more than capable of buying your own place. And then some.
With that, you could buy half a city.
I wish not a city of sorts. I will use your patronage to cover my fair amount, and I will rest in the city. And if you return, if you best the trials, come back, and I wish to be of assistance to you further.
Very well, Seer. Thank you, and have a good rest. We'll be in touch.
He passes through. Korofon will step back and he says, "Farewell, adventurers. Best ye luck on your next trial."
Ulhime will give him a nod.
I don't
Turns back.
suppose you got any tips on how to best this next trial.
Negative.
Well, not yet. Going back to the door, he'll walk over with Sunn. Hey, Sunn, buddy. I think I have an idea, though. I'm not really sure how safe it's going to be.
What are you getting at?
Well, seeing as the door itself was drawing one's life force from them, I think it needs a certain amount to be sated in a sense.
Seeing Sunn and Ulhime going to the door, and seeing as Thelsa's already looting the crap out of the place, I want Jacob to go ahead and take a closer inspection of the door. I mean, are there any runic symbols or anything like around the door frame itself, or any bare patches that this black ichor has come off of that might show more than just these divots that have been burned into the door frame, the door face itself?
Well, if you can recall, these individual divots in the door frame were scattered like honeycomb pattern, right? Like it wasn't like it was just manually placed in some kind of odd pattern. This was built like this on purpose. The handle itself seems to be made of some excessively sharpened blade. It's not meant for those thin of dermis to grab.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Jacob figured that one out real quick.
You do see that there is some kind of odd patterning on the archway itself that builds its way around, but it's not of a language that you're immediately familiar with.
And let's see. No way he can try and just like take 10 and try and decipher the basis of it or anything like that.
Unless you had a way to comprehend languages, that kind of thing, you would probably struggle with this a great deal.
Well, let's be honest. This is Jacob Rivers. I struggle with everything.
Fair.
But, I mean, it's just like a lost language, or is it just kind of an unusually rare language?
Some of it seems vaguely familiar, but other bits of this like runic pattern, it doesn't make sense. Like where it seems to have like a bit of a flourish or a drag or a hook on a letter, as it advances, it seems to take a distended, turned style. Like it's almost as if someone else started writing these runes in a very different kind of language. But you're not going to know unless you have a way to decipher languages.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be anything. I mean, apart from just doing a linguistics check, yeah, he doesn't have anything to just like discern language.
No, unless you have excessively high linguistics.
Oh, I can cast comprehend languages.
Bernard's like, I have a plus 34.
No, but I have comprehend languages. I understand all spoken and written forms of language. So, seeing as he's pointing that out, I will cast it.
Okay, so when you cast comprehend language on yourself, because it's a self-target, correct? It's not like you're casting it upon someone else.
No.
Self-target. When you begin to, you feel this like this warmth, right? Like that you are now beginning to glean new information about this door. Peering over it itself, you see that the runes begin to alter and take shape to form something very different. It's not lettering. It's sort of building like a pictogram. A series of pictures that have been hidden behind what you believe to be a dead language.
Mm-hmm.
But the pictures aren't in a very discernible order. On top of that, they don't really look like they fit at all, because some of them are very different times. Some exhibit what looks to be like a forest setting. Some of it has like this volcanic ashen setting. There are a few that just look like they're flames. But when you quickly glance away, it almost looks like the flames are moving.
Is there a particular direction that they're moving?
Negative. It's not like an ostensible direction that you can see. It's not like it's a pattern that you can immediately make out.
Can I focus in on them more intently to see if anything happens using read magic on top of comprehend languages?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Give me. Let's see. Let me see something real quick. Spell is personal. Okay. Casting Read Magic upon yourself. You can see that the fire, where it was kind of like moving. Have you seen a picture where, when you glance at the photo or this painting, no matter how or where you turn in a room, it sort of looks like the eyes are watching you? That's kind of how this looks, except the fire bends and moves like you're watching it directly. Give me a perception.
Nine.
Okay. You can't seem to make out any additional details on top of it. You see that they are bright. It looks like it's burning tinder because it's giving off a great amount of like cherry that's like lighting the air, but it doesn't seem to visibly give you any more detail, any additional definition, that kind of thing.
Oh wait, so it really does look like fire. It's not just a pictogram of fire, like a simplified image. It looks like it's really fire obscuring.
Yes.
Is there any way to go up and touch it without? If I can, I want to take one of my torches.
Okay.
I don't wait. Do I have them? Yeah, I want to take one of my torches and just toss it up at it and see if it like catches in some way or if there's some reaction to it.
You lob your torch up there, and obviously it's unlit. When you just kind of lob it up there, nothing happens. It strikes the door. There's zero impact. Nothing happens. Nothing occurs.
And when it drops down, there's that same wave isn't on the object.
Correct.
Okay. I want to try something. So I want to place my. I'm gonna take my gauntlet off. And I'm gonna grab the door and see if, as it's drawing energy, if something happens with the flames.
Okay, so you want to touch the door itself. What exactly are you trying to touch?
The blade part. Like I wanna see if like giving it life in a sense causes the flames to change in some way. So like I know I'm going to be cutting my hand, but I'm going to try to give, I guess, blood and life force to this door to see if something happens with it.
Sure. When you touch onto the door handle itself, you can visibly see the flames light. They seem to grow. And they seem to like kind of lick over the top of the frame of the door itself. But when this happens, as you kind of peer back down, you can see that this material, this small brown, almost like free moving material, seems to emit from this honeycomb pattern of the obsidian on the door. Mm-hmm. And it starts to reach out to the bladed handle.
I'll keep it there. I still want to see if it helps the flames grow on it.
Okay. And I'm assuming that these flames aren't visible to the rest of us, only to Ulhime, because he's got them magic eyes.
Correct. Ulhime, after a few moments, it seems to coalesce and start to swallow or envelope your palm. The moment that it seems to touch, you have this scathing retort, right? Your body is giving you a vehement reaction. You want to pull away from this, but I need a fortitude save.
I'm not going to fight it.
Okay. You take 9 points of chilled subdual damage.
Yeah, at this point, Jacob's going to be kind of looking between the door and Ulhime. Buddy?
Jacob, you can hear the sound of what seems like sizzling flesh.
Yeah, that's why he's, buddy, are
gritting my teeth.
Are you losing your fucking mind?
Just give me a second, friend. And then he'll still keep his hand on it.
Seeing the visible pain, Sunn's going to pull a potion off of his vest and hand it over to Ulhime.
I'm not going to take it. I'm going to just I'll put my other hand up, telling him just to wait.
Okay, it seems to move up your arm, writhing and wrapping, trying to bend around your person. Guys, you can clearly tell that whatever the substance is, it's attempting to swallow Ulhime. Ulhime, take double. So take 12 points of subdual damage. It's begun to freely rove up your arm.
Alrighty.
We've had this issue of not having fire spells before, haven't we?
Oh no, we got fire spells now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Jacob's still kind of engrossed in what's happening to his friend. He was just kind of looking at these weird symbols, and all of a sudden, the goblin grabs the handle and starts getting entrapped. But
Sunn's going to basically try to snap your eyes to the arm and say, "Jacob, come on! Do you have any sort of fire to help this slow burn?"
Give me time. Hold on, and then he'll still wait to have it absorb more life force.
Jacob, you can see that your ally is under duress. You can visibly see that where it looks as if his muscles would naturally swell if there was some kind of heat, it looks like the skin is growing taut over the arm. And it seems as if the moisture is being drawn from his skin. It's starting to look like his arm is literally looking like a leathery bag.
Yeah, at this point, Jacob's going to yell for Klaus and Thelsa to come help.
Ulhime,
Quick, chop his arm off.
Yeah.
your body has a natural survival response. You wish to stay alive. That's just how it is. I need a fortitude save. Okay, you manage to stomach the pain. Despite this, you bite your lip, grit your teeth, and you can visibly start to hiss like that pain, that seething pain that you're trying to resist through.
Yeah.
It's starting to become so loud at this point that Thelsa and Klaus, you can hear it, and it's sort of like the sound of ants marching. Thousands and thousands of ants marching over marble or tile. Ulhime, you can feel the pain writhe from the tips of your fingers to your knuckles, down into your palm, and where you were trying to hold on to the door, you physically can't feel your fingers doing anything now. You've lost touch sensation.
Yeah, and even though he trusts Ulhime, Jacob's...
take double. 26 points of subdual damage.
Alrighty.
Anybody doing anything?
I'm gonna try to pry him off the door.
Come close.
Ulhime, what are you doing? What do you need? What are you doing?
Ulhime, give me a fortitude.
Okay. 22.
Okay. All right. You are a hard ass. You are somehow managing to, despite this subdual damage, this drain upon your person, are holding it there, but you realize that you can't move your arm. You've lost entire motor movement in your arm. You have zero control. It's entirely up to you to explain that to your allies, but Klaus, Thelsa, they're now attempting to pry you away. So, if you guys are going to try to pull his body away from it, give me a CMB versus his CMD.
While this is happening, are the flames getting any brighter?
No, they're not. No, they're not. Give me a perception, Ulhime.
At 20.
Holy shit.
Klaus decided to fucking man up.
14.
No, Klaus decided to go ahead and just suplex his ass.
Ulhime, you haven't quite met my DC, but you're close. I have to offer you desperation. If you roll well enough on desperation, there are things that you could glean here that you couldn't previously.
Sure.
So roll a 1. It's not a 1.
16.
16 is actually what my DC is, even or odd, in your favor.
Even.
It's odd. You feel like you're starting to see something, like a pattern. Almost like the flame is starting to spell out a word, but you can't quite make it up. You're barely holding yourself together. The eyelids are starting to flinch, and your body is starting to have this reactionary method of tensing. It's like a tremor sensation.
I hate to do it. I think I'll go ahead
Klaus?
and roll a desperation.
You're rolling a desperation for what, Jacob?
2 assists.
Assist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 1d4, right? Well, doesn't matter.
You got it. You got it. Jacob, you managed to jar and push his body along with Klaus to pull him away, and at the last second, Ulhime, there was lies in the flames. There are no words in the flames at all. It drew your attention in deceit entirely. But what you did manage to catch, that the cherries that blossom away from the fire itself, it gives you a series of letters.
What are those letters?
I am going to tell you in a whisper.
MALGRIM.
No,
Everything
it's going to be
sense.
like Wheel of Fortune, RSTLNE.
Actually, he just gets 5 vowels.
I'd like to buy a vowel. You.
Why? Because I need one.
Unfortunately, Ulhime, you couldn't catch the rest of the message that was delivered to you. But you managed to capture those 3 letters before Klaus and Jacob wheel your body away from this. The moment that this happens, you see this mold fall away from his body and begin to recoil from the flesh of this earth and pull straight back up into the honeycomb pattern of the door.
Getting my bearings, I will use 2 charges of my channel energy.
Okay. How much subdual damage did you take through that? I think it was like 40.
I'm at 130, and I'm at 80. Hold on.
I'd like to offer him
47.
You took, okay, yeah, that sounds about right. I was gonna say you took like 40 or 50 points of subdual damage. When this removes away from your arm, you glance down, and your arm looks decayed. It looks like it's rapidly aged. You see that your wrist has crooked in a way that it doesn't want to bend past that particular point, and your fingers dehydrated to the bone itself. You have lost muscular definition in your palm entirely. It looks like green leather wrapped bones.
Mummified.
Moving off to the side so I don't accidentally hit the door with my spell, I'll cast the 2 charges of channel positive energy into my hand.
Okay. You manage to do so, and it seems almost as if your hand is resisting. Like there's no life to give back to it. You're still going to heal that much. Your health will go back. But for all intents and purposes, the utility of your hand has dropped. Unless you can figure out a way to remove this condition, you've lost the utility of this hand.
Would Jacob be able to kind of grab his hand and, well, grab his arm and try to inspect it, see if he can discern what kind of arcane, if this is just an arcane cause or if this is more natural? Is this a result of a spell, for instance?
Give me a knowledge nature.
Oh, yeah, because I'm awesome at those.
Sure.
Let's see. Knowledge. All right, so that would be just flat intelligence, which still isn't too bad. I know jack shit about nature.
You aren't sure, to be honest. You don't know what could have done this. If this is native to the plane, maybe it's back home. You're not sure how it got here, but obviously this door has been man-made. This isn't something that just appears because it wills itself into existence. Someone put this here. Someone placed this material upon it.
And while this material was coming down and leaving these honeycombs, which I'm assuming is where they've been resting, would there be anything in the honeycombs or any symbols revealed while they were pulling down onto his arm that might stand out?
For this time, I can give you that, right? I can give you the opportunity to check this, but the problem is you guys were so occupied with looking at Ulhime, you didn't even think to look inside of the honeycomb itself. But unless you have a light source and you're looking closely, you're unable to see through the depth of the obsidian.
All right, so this is nothing that we would have seen like with cursory glances, because Jacob was looking between the door, Ulhime, door, Ulhime, door, Ulhime. So it would need to be inspected while it's happening.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thelsa, I know that you were looking around the room as this was happening, and you were kind of kicking around some belongings. There are a few things here.
Okay. I would have rushed over after once they were calling me, but once I tried to get in there and there's 4 men hovering around a door, I can't really do much then. So.
Are you just kind of like finding anything? You just want to like locate things that stick out, or
things that seem magical or useful? I have nothing on me. Like I have my clothes in my hands, and that's about it.
Weapons, armor, super magical trinkets.
Anything along the lines?
Sure.
I would detect magic just to look for things that were magical around the room as well.
Okay, all right. So there is a couple of things to note. There appears to be a small wooden wand. It's a very delicately thin instrument. Like, it was definitely designed for a woman. You also find that there is a large heavy mace. And the only other magical thing inside of the room, outside of the fact that this entire realm has some kind of latent magical aura, is the door. Not only is the door magical, but you see this very intricate weave, layers of magic. You can see different levels and different school types of magic weaved into this door.
Okay.
From this distance, you can't tell how many spells are put upon this door, but you can tell that it is heavily embridled with magic.
Once I thought I was done looking through all this stuff, I'd head over to the door and I'd try and read magic to see if I can tell just what kind of schools are on it or how many different layers of spells there are.
Sure. When you make your way over, this is probably about the time that they would have called you over anyway, since Ulhime is grabbing onto the door, and you can see this happening. Your read magic shows you some symbols that you can't quite entirely understand. It's patterns, but some of the patterns seem to move. Ulhime seems to be glancing at a few of them, but you know that there's something more here. You just can't tell what it is. Do you still have detect magic on?
Yep, I would have detect magic on. I wouldn't have turned it off.
You can visibly see how many different layers of magic is woven into this, and you count over 100.
Gross.
Somebody really didn't want that door open.
Or they wanted to be the only one to be able to open it. I'd try looking around the door for anything that was, I could tell was standing out, like a slot for something that was external, like a key slot that was hidden, or anything that was some kind of pattern that I could visually
Sure, hit me with perception.
decipher. $31.
You actually do notice something. It's odd. On the right-hand side, internally to the arch itself, where the door is inset, there are small patterns which seem to form a bit of a picture. It looks like inset into the stone, because where you're looking at it, the door is recessed internally, and then there is probably about 2 to 3 inches where the stone that's like the obsidian doors are set into the stone. You can see that there on the upper left-hand side is what looks to be an eye. On the right-hand side, there is a socket.
Oh, that bastard. Oh!
Oh, that's really awkward.
I presume it's like an eye socket? Or is it just like a hole?
It's a fully human-shaped hole.
I meant just like a socket that would fit an eye, not
It's
a human-sized hole.
It's a depression of a socket, like an
Okay.
eye socket.
Interesting.
But it's not like a human eye. Something significantly larger.
I'd move up and take a closer look, and then Klaus, come here for a second. Because he's the only one I want to talk to. The rest of the numbskulls.
Okay.
Ow!
Uh,
I gotta be hateful like that.
Klaus, by chance, have you seen some kind of gem or, as might sound a little bit crazy, but some kind of eye that would fit in a socket similar to this?
There's potential. The eye that was seen floating above the mummy's head, I could see it potentially fitting in this.
I don't know what you speak of, but if that is a thing, this might be some kind of key. There's a depression in here for something I presume is an eye due to the symbol in the corner, but I don't know where we would have gotten this eye or why.
I don't believe there's really a way for us to get it just yet. This seems like it's maybe something we should tackle later.
I am also going to note that there is a lot more than you guys might think there is to this door. I tried to count the layers of magic that are weaved into it, and there's more than 100. Too many for me to count in just a small time. It's whoever made this door is highly magical.
It certainly doesn't surprise me. Whatever's behind here, we're definitely not meant to see. At least that wasn't the original intention. But as I said, I don't believe there's a way for us to safely get into it at the moment.
Then I suggest not touching it as I look over at Ulhime on the ground.
Seems reasonable.
So the floor is open to anyone at this point.
Yeah. While I am still on the floor trying to, knowing that I'm left-handed and my left hand's now inoperable, I'm gonna try to use my right hand and uncurl my fingers, just so I can at least get the gauntlet back on, even though it's not going to really be of much use at this point.
Sure.
Just so it's not just being held without any real purpose. But once I get the gauntlet back on, I'll hand the sword over to Jakob. I don't think I'm going to be able to fight, really. But I ended up getting some information.
You know the severity of your wounds are a drain of sorts. You felt you physically felt your life force being pulled away from your body. You've experienced things like this in the past, and this is something that either A, takes time, or B, some kind of divine fixer-upper, right? Like a spell of sorts. Perhaps a regeneration or a rejuvenation, that kind of thing. You need to be able to put life back into this limb. You are familiar with that much.
True, but I do not have the capabilities to cast it.
True, but I thought you guys had potions. I thought you guys had a potion of rejuvenation.
Not to my knowledge.
That might have been one of the many, many, many potions that Jakob gave to Sunn. Because I remember he was using it to recover.
You gave me 8 cure mods and a cure serious.
Well,
it was like 10 cure mods in a series, but we've gone through them.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
Sunn is actually going to take that cure light that he never put away, and he's going to tap it against Ulhime's head when he's looking at Jakob.
I mean, he's still focusing on my hand. He'll kind of push it away. I don't need that. That's not going to really get the job done. But here, and he'll try as hard as he can to toss the sword over to Jakob. Being left-handed and sacrificing one's left hand it's going to be a little hard for me to swing with my right.
Yeah, you think maybe next time you do something stupid and dangerous, you can go ahead and use your offhand, and he'll kind of belt the sword behind him.
Well, I did get something out of it.
It better be worth it.
3 letters.
I'm losing faith in you, Ulhime. Really, I am. All right, what 3 letters?
Well, look like 2 S's and an L.
I thought you were going to say A.
Like in a row, in the middle of a word?
Yeah. Let me show you. And he'll take his right hand, and he'll start showing it in the way that he saw, where he'll just kind of like couldn't etch into the ground, but he would just say, yeah, the going from left to right, it was SSL. That's what I got out of it.
And was it just, did it look like an acronym, or were they in 3 different lines? Were they separate from each other, or was it like
No, it was all in a row,
3
right?
letters?
Like it was one row that I saw it.
As far as you can tell, yeah.
Yeah. No, it was just in a row. That was it.
SSL.
Mm-hmm.
I know I like puzzles, but you really don't give me much to go on here, Ulhime. And he's going to squat down right there in the dirt, sitting on his heels and rubbing over his chin. And of course, the first thing that he's going to be doing is reviewing names, people, spells with SSL somewhere in the midst of them. I would imagine he'd take a couple minutes.
So are you just sitting there like, listen, Sissel, Slurs?
Surabar, Spellmason, Lick.
No, he's not going to be saying them out loud. He's, good God, give him a little more credit. But no, he is going to put SSL, and he's going to start kind of systematically thinking like a crossword puzzle.
Okay.
What
Fair.
words would go ahead and have this particular series of letters in the middle?
I would be looking over my weapons.
This could also be one of a few things. He definitely knows that he missed letters. He also isn't aware if he caught this in a continuous message and they're out of order.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about any word that has SLS in it, that... Spellmason. How much you want to bet that old fuck went ahead and put this door up?
But where would...
Klaus.
I mean...
You said that you're in Sarabar Spellmason's body, right?
Yes.
Have you... I mean, I would imagine you've run into his work before. I don't know about you, but I do know that certain arcane spells and constructs tend to have their own feel, a signature. Does that door feel familiar to you?
I don't immediately recognize it, but
No, not you. To who
I
you're
understand what you mean, but nothing springs to mind. I believe I can sort of delve into his memories, at least for a brief period.
Give it a feel.
So, Klaus, tell me how you're going to do this. How are you going to try to tap in to this relic of a human being known as Surabar Spellmason?
It's different than I've ever done before, because usually I'm inhabiting a body that also has a living person in it. With him being dead, it's more complex. However, being as he inhabited this body for so long, and as far as I'm aware, he and I are the only two that have ever inhabited this body. I believe I can sort of reach beyond what my memories of this particular form are and tap into what he remembers, at least in sort of vague traces through like a... I can throw a knowledge arcana if you want.
I can give you skill checks all day long, but this is where I'm going to pass the narrative buck to you. The ball is in your court, and I want you to describe to me, sell me on the story right here, what this is like. Do you cast a spell? Do you start a ritual? Is there a summons? You by nature are a spellcaster. You live in the blood of magic. So what does this look like narratively?
Narratively, it's probably going to look something like a ritual. Not necessarily a spellcast, because there's not any particularly concrete components to it. It's more of a getting yourself into the right headspace and the right mindset, sort of a meditation deal, less of a verbal and physical component as you would see with any typical spell.
Sure.
So, I mean, I hesitate to say it, but sort of like a seance, I suppose, would be the closest thing.
Now, Klaus, you know from past, you have had the best, in your history, right? Your best memories come from the situations of you being forced into unconsciousness. Because it's not only having effect over the body, and it's forcing the body to start to heal natively, but you, as an element, you as a bloodline element, get to kind of surge with those triggers. It's very unique to you because you are, as most of you guys have found out, you are lightning embodied. You are one of the first sparks. You get to live inside of the synapse of a healing mind. Your best guess, Klaus, is that you need someone to black you out. If you want to tap into something deep like that, you need someone to black you out.
I volunteer.
He has to say it first.
Just
Jared
putting it out
just
there.
like feels like
Jared's
beat him
just
up.
giving off that, man, I really want to go ahead and clock a mofo vibe.
It's funny that Jared's giving that off and not Jacob.
Yeah. I can't even trust myself!
I'm going to turn to Jacob and say, I believe I can tap into what he knows, but I'm going to need to ask you a favor.
Of course.
I'm gonna need you to knock me out.
I would kind of turn my head as he said that.
I imagine you're at the point where you're beginning to like identify some of these things that you have, that you found. Like you're looking at the wand and the mace, and the mace is like way too large and gaudy for you, but you're like, I'm gonna take a look. I need you to black me out.
I thought you said that he's the one with sense.
What timing? This is from the gods!
Excuse me, I think there's a much easier and safer way to do this, if you don't mind.
Really?
No combat, no punching or beating.
No, he's an old man. I'd never hit him.
I'm gonna turn to Klaus and I'm gonna cast a deep slumber on him.
Ooh.
Yeah, it functions as like a sleep spell, but for 20 hit die worth of creature.
Right.
Holy shit.
Mhm. Up to 8 creatures.
Yeah,
But it's just gonna be
there's a
fun.
save. There's a save
Yeah,
to it.
it's a little safe.
Yeah, you get an opportunity to resist this. And Klaus, like, as it's not a silent thing, right? Like, you know when a spell is being cast. You're not exactly a fucking young buck. It's rodeo. You know what's happening.
I mean,
you,
he kind of is.
You don't think that a spell is just going to unlock these fragments of your memory. You need to be concussed. Do you will save your way out of this? Do you stop her? Like, what does this look like?
Yeah, it's gonna be, there's gonna be resistance because I'm not entirely through my thought process here. I'm not prepared for this. And I like you said, I really don't know if
Thelsa just pops up. She's like, I got a better idea.
Don't beat his ass.
I really don't know if this spell is going to put me in the state that I want to be in or need to be in. Not necessarily want to.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. I've got to drain the lizard. I'll be right back.
He didn't save it.
No.
And he leaves you with us.
On that note, I'm gonna leave Sniper with chat.
Death and Bub.
How do you do? Are you enjoying this? I know I am.
Sniper, we're gonna get complaints that you're harassing your audience.
Oh yes, as the chat just collectively clenches. Jesus Christ, Sniper! This is why you're not allowed around schools anymore. Ah. Your hammer means nothing to me. I'm one of the players. Oh, come on, guys. I keep you entertained.
Okay, back. Sorry.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
No matter what they say, I'm innocent.
I don't believe that for a second.
Probably the best call.
Were you racist again online?
No! I'm never... That one time I was.
God damn it.
You said some really rude things about a bunch of Latvians.
A bunch of what?
Latvians.
Oh yeah, that's a country.
People from Latvia.
Yeah, they were like Latvians, and I'm like, what's this got to do with latke? Which, for the uninitiated, is a Jewish potato pancake.
So, what'd you guys decide? Or did everybody go off to the bathroom as well?
It seems like everyone decided to go ahead and take a piss.
If you would have said that the cast wouldn't have worked, I wouldn't have casted it on him. But I don't know if he would have came out in time. I would have just been like, okay, if there's an easier way to do this, and I'd start preparing the spell. But if he's like, oh, the spell won't do it, then I would have stopped. I would have canceled my cast or redirected it to, the person he's standing beside.
Sure. So, Klaus, what do you say? Do you inform him, or do you opt out, or what does this look like?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to resist, but that didn't go super well.
If you would have told me like it wouldn't have worked, then I would have stopped my cast.
I imagine by the time you, I mean, this. Probably,
I feel like this needs an initiative roll.
So by the time you finished casting the spell, I probably would have been on the third or fourth word of my sentence of, I don't think the spell, and then.
So we would hear, I don't think, and then.
That's the thing is like Thelsa can also dispel this feature, right? She can counter her own magic. So Klaus, go ahead and make a will save. Let's see if you fall victim to the spell.
That was my last roll.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
16.
Okay. Does that?
No.
Does that?
It
All right.
falls
So
unconscious.
you immediately fall unconscious. Thelsa, you heard him say, "I don't think that," and then he goes. Do you? What do you do, Ulhime? What do you do? What's everybody up to at this point?
I mean, seeing as he wanted to be put in the state, best thing we can do is just make him comfortable. Get his face off of the fleshy, coin-ridden surface. So if I can use any fabrics or anything that are nearby to kind of make like a pillow for him, just to keep him comfortable.
Sure. You find some previous garb that was worn by an adventurer that somehow didn't get eaten, and you'll be able to strip it off of one of the bones, things like that.
Yeah.
Jacob's just going to look a little dejected that, somebody took away his chance to knock out that pretentious SOB.
He was saying, I don't think. Do you think he was going to say that the spell wouldn't work, or?
Well, who
Something along the
knows?
lines
After
of-
all, somebody just decided to cast a spell at him from behind.
Pardon me, that he asked to be knocked out, and I did what he asked without harming him.
Well, just could have a little more discussion would have been I'm just tabling that thought out there.
Well, you don't seem like the person I should be discussing anything with.
No, and what the hell's that supposed to mean?
I thought it was pretty clear.
Is there any mundane shields here, or any magical shields, or any shield that looks ornate in nature?
Not magical, no, but you would find that there are some mundane shields here, definitely.
Would anyone be like a heavy steel shield or a tower shield?
Definitely, yes.
All right. Then I will grab the heavy steel shield from the ground, and I'll hold it in my right hand. Outside of that, is it okay if we get the checks before we go into Klaus's?
Yeah. We definitely
transition?
can. We definitely can. No problem. Go ahead. Roll for the few things. I'll let you guys know right now that you managed to stumble across a little bit of gold. If you decide to take it with you, it's your call. There is about 200 platinum and about 800 gold.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
before you guys gave up like 75 gold to the man.
That's fine.
Yeah, 200 and 800?
200 platinum, 800 gold. You decide how you'd like to split
725
that.
gold.
I'll
All
take
right,
100
minus the
gold.
75.
Yes.
Oh, I'll take 50 gold and 50 plat, if that's cool.
Well, I mean, if we want to split it between everyone, sure. Yeah, basically, Jacob's just going to carry whatever's left.
Okay.
Yeah, at this point, all of his worldly possessions have been blasted away into a black hole. He's taken all the monies he can get, because he knows that back in Cauldron, he's going to have to hit some people up. So, I mean, we can go ahead and just say he's carrying the whole 1,000 worth of coins, and then divvy it up in town.
Sure, no problem. All right, so let's get those rolls. If you're going to try to identify this, let's see what you got.
Sure. Well, since our caster's knocked out.
No, wasn't it Thelsa doing it? Yeah.
Yeah, Thelsa's
Yeah,
doing it.
I would be looking over it, yeah.
Oh, right! She's a witch!
I don't know when I became a witch, but yeah.
Well, I can't really say what I want to on air. I mean, I can, because, well, I don't care, but I care enough.
Sure, let's see what you get.
What am I rolling here?
Give me a spellcraft. Are you trying to...
Discern magical properties.
Yeah, give me a spellcraft.
22. And I would probably be looking at the wand first.
You don't know.
Okay.
Mm.
Then I would try and look at the mace, because you said that was magical as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd look at that as well.
Let's see what you get.
We won on that one.
Very good. It was actually required a 30 to identify. This is a +3 large heavy mace of the Ram.
Okay.
Wow. Mace of the Ram.
You know what this does. It's basically, it was a modified feature that was originally put upon a ring, but he embraced this and applied it to a mace. Essentially, the head of this mace looks like a ram. And upon activation, it has a series of charges. When dealing a strike, you can expel a charge, dealing 1d6 points of damage, driving your opponent back 5 feet, expelling 2 charges for 2d6 points, driving 10 feet, or 3 charges, which is the maximum, for an additional 3d6 points of bludgeoning damage, driving them back 15 feet. If you'd like to, you can also treat this as a ranged attack with a 50-foot max range. No penalty for the distance. The force of this blow is considerable, and those struck by this are subject to a bull rush of up to 25 feet.
Interesting. Okay.
The ram is large. You fire out an astral ram.
It's
From-
a Brahm cue.
Sort of, yeah.
Except it's a mace instead of a shield. But yeah.
Yep.
I totally understood that reference.
It's from League. Everybody else here knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, he fires out what looks like an astrally projected ram that delivers a bull rush and bludgeoning damage.
Worth holding on to.
It has 44 charges.
Oh, damn!
It's pretty strong.
It's pretty strong, yeah.
Mm. And would Jacob notice that she's having problems with the wand?
Yeah, I'd probably take another look at the wand and just kind of inspect it. I wouldn't try and do another spellcraft on it quite yet, just because I can't tell at first. So I just kind of look it over to see if it's intricate. Not anything specific, just looking at it.
Feels magical. You know that it is magical. You can't identify the properties on it. You can try to use it.
Yeah. If Jacob sees her brow furrowed for a little bit while she's trying to concentrate on this, he's gonna just kind of swagger on over and need a little help with that.
Great, he comes. Hello, little lady. You need a man's touch.
Oh God, not that creepy.
I'm just gonna.
No, it's more like you're being a bitch, so I'm not being real friendly. Do you need a little help?
When
Jim,
he offers a hand, I'm gonna try and cast this wand on him.
Sure.
Jim missed it.
Give me a use magic device.
Jim, we already had an incident where Ronald had picked up a wand and cast dire polymorph on top of himself.
Not quite dire polymorph.
I thought it was dire polymorph.
No,
it wasn't.
It's baleful polymorph.
Baleful. My bad.
Dire polymorph sounds powerful.
Yeah, this
24.
Very good. Thelsa, you managed to activate the wand targeting Jacob, even though he's being a dick to you right now. You managed to usher the spell out, and it strikes him with utter divine magic. Jacob, heal 3d8 plus 5.
$3d8 plus 5, huh? 23.
You heal 23 points of damage. This reinstates that this is a wand of some kind of positively aligned magic. Your best guess is it's a Cure Serious wand.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jacob's just like, oh, boys? Oh, good, thank God.
Nope, I don't.
At which point he'll start going, are you fucking crazy?
You're looking at a handmaiden in hell who just slayed a giant black dragon with her mind.
Hey! Group effort! Group effort!
I'm gonna pass on that question.
Yeah, well, just keep your wands aimed at yourself unless you know what the hell you're doing. Good
Okay.
God.
I won't cast it on you if that's what you want.
Oh, don't even act like you knew what you were doing.
I didn't. I just know what it does now.
Since we identified
God,
stuff
I would
for the
have
most
killed you if
part,
my testicle falled off or something.
we can transition into Klaus's
Yeah.
thing if you
Klaus, darkness encumbering you. All that you see.
Absolute horror.
Absolute horror. Nothing. You are in a sleep state. Feels nice, man. You haven't had a good nap in a while.
You're asleep for 9 minutes, by the way. Just kind of laying there doing nothing. Unless someone wakes you up.
All right. Is someone going to wake him up?
No, I think we're gonna see if having the spell right out would do anything.
I mean, if he's just laying there, snoring away, no. If he starts, thrashing or diddling himself, then yeah, we'll probably interrupt.
No.
I would know that it was only 9 minutes and that I would rather wait the 9 minutes and then figure out if it worked than wake him up out of it when he wasn't ready.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Sure. Sounds good. No, it doesn't really look like anything's happening. It looks like he's sleeping. Like the dead, mind you, but still sleeping.
I mean, is this just from our perception? That's all we're seeing right now? Or are you saying this on
From
both?
your perceptions, you're just glancing at him, and he's asleep. Klaus, you're getting nothing.
I mean, that being said, can we just say we time lapse the 9 minutes? Because
I mean, you guys, yeah. You did overhear Thelsa saying, like, what did he mean by that? I don't think I...
All right. I mean, if that's the case, then if we cut on to that much, then I'll just kind of slap him awake, like kind of pat him on the cheek, try to wake him up.
Sure. It's not going to take a lot. He is slow to rise, but it's not going to take a lot. Klaus, you're driven to a waking state. Ulhime, a goblin, is giving you a pitter-patter on the cheek.
Yeah, and Jacob's walking back, kind of throwing dagger looks back at, Thelsa.
Anything interesting, friend?
Other than being magically forced into sleep, no.
You really need to go deeper, don't you?
You could say that.
So, what is it you were about to say?
Before somebody hits me or puts a spell on me,
Ho, 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 who's this?
or even looks in my direction, give me a moment.
Sure.
I'll help him sit up so that way he can be comfortable.
Okay.
What's on your mind, friend?
A lot of pain, mostly, as I'm sort of belaying my woes to them. I'm going to reach in my bag and pull out a Cure Moderate.
My healing spell should have hit you too. You were within 30 feet of me.
Likely, yes.
Yeah,
that was 40.
44.
44.
Yeah, it was 44 HP. So if you
Don't
don't
worry,
need that
I'm still
potion,
gonna,
no.
I'm still gonna need it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he got his ass beat in that last game.
Like a drum.
Yeah.
So you do. You take your potion.
Uh,
You smack it down. You heal 14 additional. So all in all, you've healed 58 points of damage. Which is significant.
I must say,
Feeling
I feel
better?
better now. Indeed.
That's good. So exactly how do you want to do this? I really don't feel okay with just knocking you out, but I mean, do you really think that's going to be okay?
Well,
If-
Ulhime, to be fair, we do have a medical professional just over here. And, well, I'm a professional at this.
You're not going to go out of your way to knock someone out.
I'm not going to go out of my way to hurt him. And, like I said, medical professional right here. I will take his frail condition into account. Unless you want to do it. I mean, I'll Rochambeau you for it.
Sunn's gonna hastily look into his bag and then pick up a block hammer.
I'm just gonna pull forward the hammer of the ram. Just gonna
Yeah.
mace the ram.
Yeah, Jacob's gonna put a hand up. Thelsa, no. You've already played enough with things you don't know anything about. Put it down.
I know about
Put
this.
down.
One.
I will shock your ass, woman.
I'd like to see you try.
Because you're a lady and I was raised better.
While they're arguing, I'm gonna punch myself in the face as hard as I can.
Can I stop him from doing that? It's gonna...
No, I would imagine you're too busy looking between me and Thelsa to stop him as he just decks himself under the chin.
Klaus, make an attack.
It finally took all this time for him to break after playing with our group.
It's going to be base attack bonus plus your strength modifier.
His body finally was like, fucking let me out! I'm done!
Wow, you actually, you did well. You rolled very high. Give me some damage.
I broke my own AC, I can tell you that much.
It's a D3 plus your strength modifier.
So a D3.
Yeah, strength modifier.
So D3 minus 3.
All right. Ulhime, you see him sitting there, and he's just kind of weary from all of the jibba jabba happening between you, and he just clocks himself right in the grill. And as he does, he draws his hand away, and you can see his lips a little bloodied. He blinks several times, and he realizes that you're looking at him.
I'm gonna do it again, but aim for the temple this time.
No, yeah. I'm assuming Jacob would
Would you
catch
look
him
at
going
that?
for the
I
second
broke
one.
my own AC again.
It's a really hard AC.
I wanna try to stop this one if I can.
All right,
Yeah.
he's going full Smeagol right now, man. He's just beating the shit out of himself. Thelsa, Sunn, Jakob, Ulhime's making a big stent right now. Like you can see that he's focusing. He's like, stop it! No, quit hitting yourself.
Quit hitting yourself.
Actually,
yourself.
it's probably the first time I've ever unironically said that. But you look over and he's just kicking his own ass, man. He's like,
Yeah, can Jacob go for a called shot?
Of all the times where I wish I was Cicada.
sure, you can go for a cold shot. It's his melon.
Yeah,
it's
basically,
minus...
he's going to just kind of back fist right there at the base of the neck, right at the skull.
Sure, subtract 4 from
No.
it, please.
You're
Sure
gonna Spock
thing.
him?
No, it's kind of a nerve cluster. It's one of those KO buttons. All right, so this is going to be straight up melee, -4.
Please critically fail.
He actually knocks himself out.
Oh my god, I would have lost it if you would have
He actually
yourself
draws.
out.
Why do you
draws the
have to?
card.
Why do you have to throw that curse at me?
Sure,
Considering how often it works.
Jacob, you managed to plant, you cross chop him right in the back of the neck. Give me some damage, please. I need you to break 5.
I was waiting for him to double nat 20 for the first time in his life.
He
Just like
just fucking
snap
knocks
across his
him.
neck.
Sure, very good. Klaus, it's one of those situations where he walks up behind you and you're still like, you've hit yourself probably 3 or 4 times, and you're lining up for a doozy. You're like, don't fuck with me, I'm going. And right
I'm gonna
as...
show you who's a badass now.
Yeah. You wind up and you hit yourself in the face, like right, probably upper brow, and he connects with the back of your neck, so there's like a, and then you black out. It's just gone. Just darkness, right?
Yeah, and he just turns to Hun. See, a professional. It was a courteous knockout.
I'll use a first level spell and I'll cure the blood.
Okay, you manage to remend his lip, fix a small gash just above the eye.
Leave
but you
a
know that
goose
it's-
egg on his eyebrow. It gives him some character.
It's not going to wake him. Jesus Christ. This is what we've become.
Once again, after
Hey.
cleaning up the blood.
How
and stuff.
often do I get permission to beat up on old people?
That's actually the sad thing, because anybody that's watching outside, Cerber Spellmason's like 800 years old, looks like he's in the body of a 90-year-old, and then a demon just walks up and he's like, hey kid, get and just like fucking ends him. Just punches him right in the back of the head. And he goes down, man.
But yeah, I'll clean the blood off of him, and then once again put the cloth under his neck, so give him support for his head and stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah, and while he's, relaxing and taking a nap, Jacob's gonna just talk shop with Sunn. See, now, if you really want to go ahead and knock him out one shot, you gotta go ahead and just talk the science.
It's the weirdest angle for your cam to freeze on for that entire sentence.
Yeah, I know. That was strange. It's okay. It's all right. So, Klaus, you...
Well, before we continue, can I grab the empty vial that they use for the potion and fill it with black dragon blood?
Sure.
Bit random, but okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure, you managed to do that. Klaus, you, you immediately fall into this unconscious whirl. You feel this almost bile-like sensation boiling up the back of your throat. And when you begin to come to, you see that you're living in a situation that doesn't really look... It looks like now, but it's not, if that makes sense. You can see the same place that you're at, but you can't see any of your allies. Hey, whoever's typing, can you mute yourself?
Sniper.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Dick.
Hey, I already, dropped it off its legs and everything.
As you are focusing on this surrounding, you can hear footfall moving from behind you. Do you turn and look back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you do, you see 4 figures. They move in darkened robes, but they have a silver livery emblazoned over their chest. One of them is led with his hood down. His silver braided beard drapes downward over his chest. You recognize this individual immediately. It's Surabar Spellmason. He walks over the cracked, fleshy earth of this cave. The three other figures with him immediately begin to drop the dowels of their hood. You see these other figures, of which you don't know them, at least not immediately. One of them looks vaguely familiar, actually. Could you give me a d20 plus your wisdom modifier?
$15.
Sure. That's an even or an odd in your favor?
Odd.
Odd it is. One of these people actually have a very interesting look to them. Not, so to say, like Jakob, but someone that seems vaguely familiar. When you're glancing over this figure, he's got the same blonde hair and the same, like, sort of 5 o'clock shadow scruff, this, like, blonde scruff of someone that you met previously in town.
When you said Jacob, do you mean Jared?
Yes, sorry, forgive me. You think it looks similarly to not the current Skellerang in office, but the previous Skellerang. Never says a name, but as they approach, this door seems to still be under construct, and as they're there, they commit to this seance, the spells of ritual of sorts, and you can see the flames begin to erupt over the door. These are the flames that I described for Ulhime. And as they begin to erupt, they seem to emit a very different pattern. For each different hand that is placed upon the door, they emit a very different pattern. You can see that Surabar places his hand upon the door, and this gray stoked flame of the stone and steel erupts wrought blue. It visibly becomes a fire on the archway. You see this other figure, the one that looks uncannily like your old ally, also touch the door, and you can see it erupt in orange, like an actual flame. Some kind of vibrance. And this happens again with two others. These figures you do not know, one of which is an elf, an elven woman, the other of which seems to be... I just have the name. Seems to be a human woman. Now, you've already heard the letters that Ulhime has catered to. He's given you. You can sort of guess that this SS of sorts is probably Surabar Spellmason. You believe that this is some kind of a lock. However, when they touch this door, it seems to open. There is no emission of this brown mold-like substance that seems to crawl and writhe over flesh. And upon entering, there appears to be a large creature. Do you follow them?
Yeah, I'll follow them.
When you begin to take a step, this figure that you know as Surabar Spellmason stops, and he visibly looks over his shoulder, and he glances right at you. He then does something which is borderline very unremarkable to most, but to you seems very odd since you're in his memories right now. He sizes you up and down. Aiden, go ahead.
I was gonna try to reach out to him to speak to him. Surabar.
When you begin to emit noise from your throat, this guttural snap happens. You hear this almost like seismic electrical spike emit where you would think that your voice would normally be. It's like a zzz, like it just ripples off of your tongue.
I'm just gonna follow him, I suppose. I'm gonna sort of approach him, see what his reaction is, if he seems to follow me or remains fixed on the spot where I was.
Okay. He looks at you several times, but then he kind of like looks around you, and it almost seems like his eyes kind of fall through you. When this happens, he turns back, shaking his head, and he walks back into the room. Do you follow in with him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you enter into the room, this figure, you see a creature that rivals, if not doubles the size of the dragon that you just defeated in combat. Give me a perception, please.
$30.
Living in tatters. Its flesh seems to be flayed, split, and splayed out on the floor around you. The earth, that seems to be not quite the same living matter and mass. It still has the density, but it doesn't quite seem to have the array of veins that throbs through it. It attaches like an anchor to this creature, to this great beast. You note that it tries to roll away, and every time it does, you hear the sound of flesh tearing and a whimper. It sounds like a whimper of a hound, but it's far, far too deep. The figure moves around several times and then glances in your direction. You hear this and then Surabar says, "That will be enough. You will be locked here. Your time on our plane is no more." The figure that you believe to be a Skellering steps forward. "Haven't you done enough on our plane? We've started this, and you came in and wrought so much from us. You steepled over our walls. You killed our people. You brought forth damnation." Surabar shakes his head. "It's all it knows how to do." They seem to go about writing some runes on the floor around this creature. Each of them seem to have nicked their thumb several times over, and they're drawing this as a pattern in blood and a circle. Klaus, what do you do?
Are they runes that I recognize? You want to knowledge arcana?
Yeah, you can try. You can try. It's going to be very difficult for you to discern it, but yes.
$24.
You can't quite identify their exact purpose, but what you can what you can identify is that several times over, it seems to be remarkable as like a seal magic, something like it's a sealing of sorts. And anytime that it's dealt in blood, despite your lineage, blood magic is almost strictly forbidden inside of most inner sorcerer circles. But in this case, this is a very special series of measures that are being taken for this creature. Now, Klaus, you can't help but feel sorry for this creature. You can't help but feel like the damage that it's done couldn't possibly be worth what it's going through now. You can visibly see its muscles being grated against by chain, its skin tethered to the earth. It's missing an eye. Its tail removed. One of the women physically step up, and with a blade at her hip, she cuts away one of the nails from the creature, creating some kind of makeshift weapon. Not quite large enough to be a sword, too large to be a dagger. In the hands of a crafter, could make something quite lethal.
While they're still completing this sealing magic, I'm going to step up to the creature and try to lay a hand on it.
When you do, you can physically feel a union of yourself with the creature, and you begin to look. The moment that your hand places over this creature's like muzzle or snout, you snap, and you can see a wincing of a singular eye, and you look through this singular eye at the men and the women circling you now. You can hear the labored breath, the lamed motion of it attempting to swivel its head to glean more of the situation around it. You can feel its pain, but more than its pain, the seething malice that writhes through the depths of this being. The vengeance it wishes to take on its captors is borderline unholy. Once they finish their ritual, they gather themselves and they chant several prayers, and then they begin to exit. Surabar looks back. Do you say anything or do anything?
As he looks back, I'm going to cast a glance his way and try to ask him why.
When you open your maw, this large, elongated muzzle, heat flows freely from it. You feel your blood dripping from each fang. You chuff in his direction, and you see Surabar's eyes fill with what looks like tears, and he shakes his head. He mumbles something. Give me a perception.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
30.
He says, "Goodbye, first spark. Your terror may never see these lands again." When he shuts the door, there is an expulsion. The creature begins to gag and flay, and you feel like it's sort of removing you from its system. It's like it knew that you were there, and when it expels you, languidly tilting its head, hearing the pale lap of its tongue, you roll out onto the skin-like earth. What do you do, Klaus?
Do I seem to be back in present day, I suppose?
You're not. You're standing before the creature.
I'm going to ask its name.
Stay a while and listen.
Who are you? What do they call you?
The figure begins to move to you, almost as if to motion, like it understands you. And as its muzzle begins to tilt, and you see the tongue ripple across its tongue, across its maw many times, it just tells you, related. I am of you. You are of me.
How do you know? How do you know this? I've never heard tale of you.
Hidden in hell. I lie here, waiting. Free me, brother.
What? Why did they put you here?
I gnash and tear. Rip the flesh from their ivory. I dine on the babes that walk their lands, because this is not their land. I, amidst my brothers, we were the first.
How, if you've been locked up here, how could I be related? How could we be related?
The figure tries to lunge forward despite its bindings, despite its flesh being bound to this earth, and you feel the heat of its breath sort of muzzle up against you.
I feel it. I know my own. You and I are one. Born from the first rift, sought upon the land. I know you. You are my kin.
I'm not like you.
But you are. You pretend. Perpetuator of lies. You will take many forms. Your flesh will grow old and ragged, and you'll bounce from host to host. Your time is limited. Free me and I'll teach you. I will free you from the mortal coil.
How do I get to you?
Bring them, alive or dead. Their blood frees me. It releases my holes. The constraints of the door will open. Only you can, brother.
You need all that sealed you in to free you, correct?
There's a nod. A very visible nod. You hear the sounds of the chains clanking against each other.
Who were the other two? I recognize Spellmason and Skellerang, but the other two.
Tercival, Lidu, the founders of the Ragan Volcano Home. For now, I'll lie in wait.
We'll meet again.
You get a single solitary blink, and then the creature drops its head to the flesh and like earth. You wince back to existence, to hearing the sounds of your allies as you fall back under the pale. You get that briny feeling in the back of your throat, the bile build up, before you return. And they're there.
Hey, buddy. How you feeling? Easy. Come on. Let's get you up. Come on.
Whatever we did, it seemed like it was effective. Your eyes were moving like crazy back under your lids.
Talk about rapid eye movements.
Well, we should go.
We should go. Remember, I just knocked you out so you could go ahead and, commune with yourself and see if this door is your work. Well, not your work, but his work. You get what I mean.
Jakob, friend, we shouldn't press him. If he saw something he didn't want to, then it's not our business.
We need to leave.
Ulhime will give Klaus a nod, and he'll continue to help him to a standing position.
Okay.
All right. You can walk on your own, right?
Yes, I'm fine.
Good. Ulhime will pick up his shield and use it on his right arm. Well, let's head back out.
So that's it? We're not going to discuss or anything like that?
He's probably gotten answers, Jacob. We just give him time.
This thing is more magic than we're prepared to open, so I suggest we just leave it alone until...
Sunn's gonna raise his hand. Can I check to see if he has a concussion at least?
Yeah, that would probably be best.
Do you have a concussion, Klaus?
I have...
I did just knock him out. Yes, he's been concussed.
I'm fine. We should move on.
Sunn's
All right,
going to
go in a minute.
Sunn's going to take a finger and he's going to press it against Spellmason's temple.
Seems fine. A little shaken. Blood sugar's a little low. Looks like he could use a banana.
Can
But, He'll be
I'm
all
gonna give
right.
him a Snickers. Look, you're just not the same when you're hungry.
He's gonna get that potassium lockup. That'd be brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to go for that advertising money.
Seeing as we collected all the gold and stuff, I'll start making my way out.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, Jacob's even going to go ahead and offer Klaus a shoulder to lean on because, well, let's be honest, once you knock a guy out, you're a little closer to him.
And now that I knew what this wand was, while Klaus was under, I would have tried to figure out if I could find out any more about it, like what kind of healing or charges along the lines, now that I know it's some sort of divine healing.
Well, unfortunately, you are unable to do that. You're unable to identify it. So you're going to need to wait it out until you can re-identify it, find out a bit more about it, or find someone else that can identify it for you.
Okay. It's a healing thing.
You know, somebody who may have already offered to go ahead and help.
No, you've helped me. I know what it is now.
Oh, that's freaking funny.
Alrighty. Heading back out, do we see any immediate dangers or threats going on?
Negative. Not at least immediately.
Alright. That being said, I guess we'll start making our way opposite from which we came, since the forward direction was being destroyed by the Black Dragon. We'll head in that direction towards the Trial of Sacrifice.
Yeah. You remember that, at least some of you discovered that you weren't actually very far from the skull itself.
Correct.
You were. Do you guys recall how far you were?
Was it half a mile?
It was half a mile. Yeah.
Yeah.
Half a mile. Yeah. You're very, very close. And for you guys, that's no time flat. You can cover that ground in probably 10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
6-7 minutes, depending on your gear. So yeah, you should be just fine.
You have the gold counted up, right, Sniper?
Yeah, I went ahead and just put it on my sheet. 200 platinum, 800 gold.
Cool, thank you.
725.
Yeah, 745, because we gave.
We give 75, so it's 725 that we have.
Yeah.
Okay, 725 it is. Updated.
But yeah, we'll keep making our way to the next trial. See where it leads us.
Making our way downtown.
All right, sounds good. Okay, guys, if you're just tuning in, thank you so much for hopping in and watching the show tonight. It's the first time back after what feels like too long. I'm Bub. This is the cast and crew of Shackled City. This is episode 130, and they just encountered something. So before we continue, I wanted to kind of take a moment to speculate what you believe out of game, what you believe you encountered, Klaus.
I had to guess. I mean, I would say it's the first thing that I spawned from, more or less.
It is called the first spark.
It was the L Spark.
I guess the best way that I could describe it would be, like if this thing were to fragment and a bunch of powerful but not as powerful creatures were to come from it, then that's, I suppose, what I would be. That's the best guess I have.
Man, it would be so badass if you turned out to be Optimus Prime.
Tell you, man, it is the L Spark.
Now, that being said, now that you have dropped out what you think you are, or what you think this thing is, I'm eager to know what everybody else thinks, pretty much except Austin, because I know that he's not going to give me much of anything to work with outside of a meme.
Well,
I mean, I was going to say he's like the spark of life that
A spark of
exists
life?
in the world.
Okay,
Yeah.
So, do you guys remember way back when we were at the tree, and Balthar was going through those visions?
Yes.
Can you recall what those visions were, briefly?
Other smaller elementals falling to the planet.
So what exactly did you Do you remember what you were seeing? Like, what were they falling from?
It was it looked like a storm, and then it looked like essentially looked like a storm. Then it turned out to be what looked like a primal elemental that just just kind of burst and then fell, and
Okay.
he was one of those sparks that was created from it, along with all the other sparks.
Sure. So I know that you never told Klaus that as Balthar.
Correct.
Out of game, well, no.
Mhm.
But I'm curious, is there a reason that Balthar never told Klaus this?
I think he tried to at a point, and then kind of just kept getting put off due to other dangers.
Okay.
It wasn't that he didn't want to tell him, and
It's just rather hard to go ahead and find a clean moment to go ahead and say, "Hey, I met your daddy."
I thought we tried to have like a kind of a conversation about it before. I could have sworn when he was at the Citadel, when he came back, that there was like a small conversation about it, but it wasn't like too in depth. It was more or less like, yeah, like I saw what you were, so I kind of understand what you are, kind of thing. But outside of like the exact visions, no, I don't think he ever really went into detail about it.
Okay. All right. Carbon thinks it's a giant-ass lightning wolf that hits hard.
I think this is the reason Jared's daddy was exhumed,
You think?
Yeah.
and why.
He might be one of the keys.
Nabazubu wanted the body of the other dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nabazubu.
Yeah, I don't know who that is here.
Naptatoran.
But yeah,
okay.
he might need him for like a kind of key in that regard. So anyone who's related to anyone from this bloodline is essentially a target at that point.
No, I don't think it's so much his bloodline, as much as he specifically said, "Only their blood can free me from this prison," such.
So not their
So those
bloodline,
people-
but their actual physical.
Their
blood.
bodies, yeah.
Well, I mean, it would have been a lot easier for him just to take his brother's body. After all, he did
Wouldn't
just-
his dad be a skeleton by this point?
We don't know if it was
necromancy isn't. Necromancy's had lots of big strides over the last couple of years.
There's really
but
been
we
an
don't
influx.
we don't
honestly,
know if
within
it was the same thing
community.
like Surabar though. We don't know if his body was preserved.
Yeah. Okay.
So it could be all four of them have had the same kind of coffin
That kept him
for that kind of reason.
Okay.
Will has
But
to
yeah,
unite
it's-
them all.
But yeah, outside of that, then I'm guessing some special primal elemental, or lightning elemental, that we haven't seen.
Sure. All right, that's fair. So, I think this is a good enough spot for us to take a brief break. I'm going to get something to eat, something to chew on real quick, because I need some noms. And when we return, let's go ahead and pick back up. So, about 5 minutes, is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, I'm going to mute myself, but I'm not going to mute you guys. So if you'd like to continue talking with them,
Stay a while and
you
listen.
definitely can. So guys, I'll
Well,
be right back. I'm going to go ahead and turn off their cameras, just in case.
Ho, ho,
as they're gonna
ho,
do some
who's
things.
this?
And there's the host from Miscreants. Miscreants! Guys, we're going to take a brief break. Give us like 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes at most, and we'll be back with the rest of tonight's session. So,
Yeah,
I
seriously,
will-
just 5 minutes. We need to just crank one out real quick.
oh boy. Okay. That's what is going on?
I honestly just need to be away from Sniper for a couple minutes. It's too long of a sitting.
Jesus Christ. All right. We'll see you guys in just a minute. BRB. Have fun. Be safe. Don't say racist things, Sniper.
Call me out, why don't you?